What's up, Buttercup? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is the final reading wrap-up for my Celtophile Readathon. I think this is going to be a little shorter than the other ones because I'm just really tired. Not physically, just mentally and emotionally tired. So I apologize, but I have learned that I'm going to be laid off, and though I am in the process of looking at other jobs and in the running for a couple jobs, they're not done yet, so nothing's set in stone, and I don't know when I'm going to be laid off, so it could be like in a couple weeks or a month, or it could be in 3 days. Yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. I am probably going to slow down a little bit with booktube, and I'm definitely not writing anything or editing anything, so I'm just really tired. I just bought a new house with my husband, and it's a 2-income household, so I'm not freaking happy, and I'm putting that nicely so I don't get reported for vulgarity or whatever, but I at least have some prospects, so there's that. If you want to support me, there's membership, merch, buying my books, or just sharing my stuff. Love to see it. Lots of people are in very hard times right now, so I totally understand if you can't, but if you feel like you want to do something, then just sharing my channel or my books is good enough. Actually, great enough. That doesn't sound as cool, but I do want to point out, if you help in any sort of way, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. We do have a small emergency fund, but since we just bought the house in January, it's not as big as we would like. So, you know, life hits you with a ton of bricks sometimes, and yeah. So that's kind of my week. I haven't read that much, being completely honest here, but the final wrap-up video will be coming out in the first week of April, so look forward to that. But I finished the Toyin, and I didn't rate it because it's just a really old text story, and there was a little middle slump. And so I was just sitting there like, ooh, what am I gonna rate it? I don't give a shit. The star ratings ultimately don't matter. There's a lot of, possible existential crises in this video. I apologize in advance if you already didn't figure that out by my long introduction. But yeah, the ratings don't matter at the end of the day. I enjoyed it. Yes, there were some, problems, like in the middle, it just really stalled a lot, and there was just a lot of talking and not a lot of action. But it's like, what, 2,000 years old? 3,000 years old? I give it leeway. I usually just don't really star rate the older books or philosophy or nonfiction because it's, for me, kind of like a difficult thing to do, and I'm not going to put a lot of time and energy into trying to give it a rating on a website that might or might not be around in 15 years. You know what I'm saying? If not, okay, we're moving on. I started Etruscans by Morgan Llewellyn and Michael Scott, and this fulfills the prompt of read a Morgan Llewellyn book. It took so long to find a copy of this novel. So it says that this is the first book in a series. It's not. It's just a one and done kind of book. I'm intrigued to see what the ending is like. Is it really open because they were thinking about doing a second, third, fourth, whatever book, but then like, I don't know who said no to it. Maybe the publisher said no to it. But I'm just intrigued on where this goes because I am going to keep this book. But so far, I can see that Michael Scott had a bit more, like, not leeway, input on the writing style and even, like, the storytelling. it's not Morgan's writing. And I'm like, okay. I mean, you know, that's what happens when you have multiple authors with one book. So I don't fault anyone, and I don't even really fault the publishers or anything like that, because that's just the nature of co-writing with people. But I think, you know, I started this kind of as a comfort book because, ooh, I know Morgan Llewellyn and I'm never disappointed. Oh, well, there's another person involved. Oh, okay, it's not Morgan Llewellyn. But I'm really fascinated by the Etruscans and their magic system. This is historical fantasy. So we already see fantasy involved within the first 60 pages. So we love to see that right out the gate. I'm having a little of a hard time connecting with the characters and even finding most of them interesting. That's why I'm like, this isn't really Morgan, because there's at least interest. I don't need to relate to the main characters. I need to find them interesting. So here we are. This could be a book where I'm like, oh, I don't know what to rate it, so I'm not going to rate it. But because it was so hard to find and it's still co-written by Morgan Llewellyn, I will keep it. Unless it turns out terribly. But still, maybe not, because it... like I keep saying, it was so freaking hard to find. Just like a couple of her other books that I just can't find them because they're out of print. And I'm not paying $100 for a copy. So that's where I'm wary, you know. I'm just like, we'll just keep this. We'll just keep going. We'll see how it is. It's totally fine. And I'm still, of course, reading the story of the Irish race. It's a big chunky monkey. Nothing new has progressed in that because I just don't want to read a nonfiction book. At this point in time, I want to turn my brain off. I need to stop thinking, because all I'm doing is thinking about ways to keep going with paying bills and all that fun adulting, that I don't want to read anything educational or non-fiction-y, like not even a memoir. I don't care. That sounds mean, but no, I have lost the ability at this moment, not saying that I won't ever get it, because I'm not cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but I've lost the ability to care about educating myself in anything. I am kind of in survival mode at this point. So just give me the drama, the magic, the whimsical, the positive. I would love to see anything positive at this point in time. I have not gotten to the early Irish myths and sagas, nor have I gotten to Queen of Oak by Melanie Cursack. So I didn't read all of the books on my list for the Celtophile Readathon, but at this point it is totally okay. I was kind of thinking, like even a week ago before all the news happened, that I wasn't gonna get to it because I've had other stuff happening and now this stuff is happening. There's too much stuff happening. Okay, so I was reading slower. I was falling asleep at like 7-8 p.m. Like on the weekends, I was falling asleep at 7:30, around there, and waking up at 10. Yeah, so I just really don't have all of that time. And I know with nonfiction, I wouldn't be focused on learning. The capacity is gone for the moment. And maybe that's a kind of a good thing that I'm reading the Etruscans and I'm not like 100% like there, because if I was reading something that I was absolutely looking forward to, I don't know if I would retain it. I'm not really retaining a lot of stuff, y'all. So I apologize if you have to like tell me stuff multiple times, or like I forget your birthday or something like that. I'm sorry. It's just not there right now. But, you know, we just keep on going because life keeps on going. Thank you so much for watching my final weekly reading wrap up for the Celtophile Readathon. I had a great time, all things considered, and my final wrap up with all the books I talk about and rate will be coming out shortly. Thank you so much again, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.